Travelex, as you say, through the distribution and sale of traveller's checks throughout Africa, has had a long association with Africa, but those days are well gone, and we as an organisation are looking to come back into a international money transfer. So what I'm going to talk about, my angle's slightly different. It includes mobiles and inclusion, but it's actually more of from a commercial point of view. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain a little bit what happens now, what could happen, and what some of those issues are, and what problems that we have trying to use mobile payments. So as we know, the diaspora is critically important for Africa. An awful lot of funds are sent in to families. And at the moment, most people use a cash-to-cash transfer system, whether it's Western Union, MoneyGram, or any of the other sort of big brands that we're aware of. There are internet emerging solutions, but just as importantly, there's an enormous informal market, and that's, people try and put some figures around it, but it's a vast amount. So if you want to enter that space, and you're a company like this, you know, what are the issues? Well, it's very difficult for a company to get in because you need a network. You need a network across all the receive markets. Now, Travelex is strong in the send environment, whether it's the US, Australia, Europe, UK. So we've got that bit covered, and we've set up a website where you can do card to card, etc. But that's no good for Africa. So what we want to do is to somehow go from the internet card, which most people in the diaspora, also have bank accounts, so they don't have a problem, that they need to be able to get it to their family much cheaper, much quicker, and much more convenient. So the benefits from a mobile perspective is that it introduces new competition in this area, because at the moment, you can't just send $10. The cost of sending $10 to Africa would probably be $10. So that's not a good thing. So you need to have a much more lower cost, so with the ability to do smaller values. And of course, you need to be able to get these funds to most people who are unbanked at the moment. It'll be safer, and just as important, like most of the central banks in Africa are saying, it's going to reduce the amount of cash in society. I don't think we're going to be cashless, certainly not in my lifetime, but we've got to make steps towards it. So how could it work? I mean, we initially thought, well, maybe we could build this fantastic mobile-to-mobile international transfer. Well, frankly, there's no need at the moment. I think that's a good goal to work towards. In the West, you know, in the send environments, the technology is already there. They can go on the internet. They have their cards, as I've said. They just need to be able to send it somewhere cheap. And we can do these sort of transactions, and I'm sure other providers could, for less than $1. So the cost goes down from maybe fixed costs from $20, $30 down to $1 or less because the technology's there. And why is that? Because we haven't got to set up big networks, agencies. We just want to tap into people who've got mobile phones. So it may go to mobile. So Travelex, strangely enough, isn't looking at building a mobile solution for itself. We're saying we've got the network at the send end. We need to be able to access at the other end. You know, so there's quite a few issues because we need to better credit a mobile account, but we're a organisation. So what do? Do we go to the telcos? Well, we can, but they're not registered. So we'd go to the banks as well, who are, as Jim has mentioned, you're trying to do deals with the telecom companies. So, but then we have another problem. We don't have to go to all 52 countries in Africa to do this deal. Maybe we should, maybe we're just being lazy, but you know, there's part of us think, well, maybe we should be able to go to a system which we can just send the money into, which can then be dispersed across. And from what our studies are looking into, this just doesn't exist. So we almost need the regulator, the bank, and the telco to sit at one end of the table, and we can show them at the other end of the table. And between us, we reckon we can get this thing to work. The technology's there, but we just can't bring everybody together to make it work for us. You know, the opportunities are quite tremendous. And to be fair, what we're looking at the moment, because we can't find in one organisation or one, this term interoperability, we can't get that. So we're thinking maybe we should go to the providers telco providers that supply into networks all across, because the diaspora will not pick up the phone and use in UK British Telecom, they'll pick one of these cheap operators which exist. So maybe they're the people we should be talking to. But who we talk to has to be compliant, has to fit into the banking system. So our dilemma is that we've got the front end, we can see the benefits of mobile, and we want to be able to send to a mobile, but we can't seem to get all the people around the table at the same time. And frankly, we'd like it to be more organised so we can make this work. And you know, the upside of it all is the things I mentioned before. People then will be able to use their mobiles. So we're sort of waiting for it to happen, but we also want to try and make it happen. And maybe it is about getting those people around that table.
Doing business in Africa, you can't afford to be without Africa Investor.